Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. Right now, it is almost 5 a.m. for me, and I want you guys to put down below in the comment section at what exact time you are watching this video. Last time I asked, a lot of you guys were watching it at 3 a.m., 5 a.m., 4 a.m. You guys are crazy! Alright, so let's try that again. Put down below at what time you're watching, and I don't think any video of ours has ever broken 2,000 likes before. So I'm just saying, make sure you press that like button to show some support. No giveaway, no corny stuff, no crazy things, just to see what type of likes we can get, just for fun. Then the first video of the day is already starting with something quite heavy in my opinion. It is Stephen Bull from the Deep here who posted, "If you don't own XRP, you are stupid." And even though I really respect Stephen Bull for a lot of the things he posts, I really dislike this tweet. And I really dislike that he put something up like this. Because even though you guys all know I am bullish on XRP, I would never try to shame people or call people stupid who don't own it. It is not like this best world currency XRP, if you don't hold it, you're missing out, blah, blah, blah. I don't really feel that way. I just feel, hey, XRP is a very good chance at making a huge ROI, so it could be a good bet to go for. It is not a certainty, it's not a bad thing if you do not own it, you just might be missing out. However, it is always a chance game, and there's, for example, a couple of people in this world you could already think of, most likely, that first of all cannot afford to take that risk, or who would rather not involve themselves with things like this. It could even be because of religion, that they would not like to speculate on these types of markets. Who are you to say they're stupid for not doing that if they do not want to? Or if they've literally sold XRP right now to buy back cheaper? How can you call that stupid? Even then, it's everybody's own choice to do whatever they want. And I personally think, again, you shouldn't call people stupid for that type of stuff. I really just really dislike it. Even though you might think it is the best idea to hold XRP, some others might not. And I don't think any of those choices necessarily smart or stupid. People who didn't buy Bitcoin in 2011 weren't stupid. They might have just been ignorant of the fact that it existed even, right? Or that it was a possibility that the price was going to go up. Same thing right now. A lot of people don't believe that XRP is going to win this lawsuit. Are you then stupid? No. You might be thinking about it very rationally. You might be thinking, hey, there's a chance they're going to win, a chance they're going to lose. I do not want to take that risk. And I completely get that. Even though I am personally taking it and I'm very positive on XRP. If you don't want to, go for it, man. It's a free game, and all are going to be winning that are in the crypto game right now, I personally believe. People who just stick to a lot of these bigger coins and just properly diversify, I think they'll definitely win. And again, if you're going to win a little bit bigger with XRP, for example, XRP would have brought you times 1,000 rather than times 100, boo-hoo, right? You're still a winner in my book, but that's, again, just me. Brian Brooks from the OCC posted something on Twitter. This is the first thing I've ever seen, but he said, "Thanks to everyone who supported me and contributed ideas over the past 9 months. Here's what I think we are and where we are going. First, my philosophy is the purpose of government is to set frameworks that allow each of us to safely pursue our own version of happiness." Whoa, that's already a pretty big jump. Government should expand freedom, not constrain it. Banks and other corporations are supposed to respond to demand by providing those things people want and are willing to pay for. But sometimes institutions decide people's ideas or economic choices are wrong, and then try to suppress those ideas or choices. Hence, decentralization, an open internet, and an open financial system put power back in the hands of the actual people for whose benefit government and corporations actually are supposed to exist. Because if you start to think about how they were formed and why they were made, they were for the people. You can always say it's for a higher ruling over those people, but it is still for people in their best interest. Otherwise, people would have not really accepted it at the start, right? Because all these institutions were made there to help people out with fair contribution from both sides, basically. Also, unbundling. Why is it that only banks and not fintechs or anyone else have access to the payment rails? Europe has figured this out. Why can't we? I'm incredibly optimistic that our big, brawling, risk-taking dynamic country will continue to lead and succeed, but not by protecting powerful incumbents. Success will come from disruptive ideas that are scary today but unexpected and even necessary tomorrow. I'm not going to lie, this does sound a little bit like XRP as well, right? If you start to think about it, like Brian Brooks, who's known to be positive towards crypto, he's explaining here the payment rails for crypto, basically, or at least for fintechs, used to say. And again, how disruptive is what they call Ripple slash XRP very often, and how, again, they're being diminished right now, talking about all these financial institutions. I know it's his job. I know this is also his sector, but he's really referring to XRP slash Ripple systems in this as well, even though it may not be direct, even though it may not be geared towards it at all. He does talk about it a little bit. Success will come from those disruptive ideas that are scary today, but expected and even necessary tomorrow. Crypto, scary to some today, but necessary tomorrow as M1 money supply goes to the moon. DeFi, scary to some today, but necessary tomorrow as some banks start telling you what you can and can't do with your own money. And this one here, I'd like to point out, there's banks in, I believe, the UK and even Australia that we know for a fact right now are not accepting crypto payments. So if you're a person handling crypto transactions or you want to be a crypto exchange, they might not lend you a bank account or might block certain transactions because they just do not want it. Of course, they'll not quote on that publicly, but they're doing it. And then stablecoins, scary to some today, but necessary tomorrow if we want the dollar to remain in a competitive global medium of exchange. Non-depository banks, scary to some today, but necessary tomorrow if we want the economy to grow and consumers to actually be protected. Be well, everyone, and don't be strangers. After a short sabbatical, I will be back in touch. And I love this. I really, really loved what he did right here. It's just a real quote towards the people. You know, really, even though I'm not even from the US, so it doesn't really, touch me in that sense, everything that he spoke here is just the truth, and it's what people want to hear. So you might say it's just a sham to get closer to the people to make himself look good. I don't think so. I think this is just a call for people, or regulators mostly, to do things properly and to show or notice possibly that what they're doing in the US right now may seem scary, or what's going on in the US right now that they're trying to stop may seem scary. But it's really not worth stopping if you start to think about your global position and about the fact that this needs to happen if you want to keep your people happy and if you want to go forward, if you want to go on. If the US really wants to be the number one in the whole crypto space or even the whole world, they gotta keep innovating. And that's one scary part for them, of course, that they have to get over, which they're getting over, but slowly, very, very slowly. All right, then the Oracle. I'm just going to leave this here again. If I got $10, $20, $50, or even $100, a lot of people are going to sell some or all. And then when people sold of all their XRP, the whales are going to buy it and watch it go to 1,000, 3,000, 5,000, and 10,000 per XRP. That is after he first said, I have a feeling that XRP is going to hit all-time high, and a lot of people are going to sell only to find out the new highs was just the lowest you could ever buy XRP ever again. Now, the big question here is, would you sell your XRP at all-time high? And have you also seen my previous video in which I basically talked about if you are a real XRP holder, yes or no, or a real XRP bull, basically? But the bigger point I'd like to make here or address is mostly that I personally do not really believe in these super high price targets if we're really talking about the dollar standard that we see right now. Logically speaking here, it is really illogical if people would keep so much money locked up in XRP if the dollar was still the most dominant currency, because they would most likely still keep it in the dollar. On a different end, I cannot speculate on this too much because we do not know how much of a role XRP will play and what exactly will go on. If it's really the bridge currency that people talk about, well, theoretically speaking, it shouldn't have any money inside. The higher the price, the better, but it doesn't really have to. It's only if we really get rid of the Nostro Vostro system and they take away these foreign currencies and put them in XRP to be very liquid. In a different sense, though, it could also be that the new standard is going to either be everything that's built on top of XRP, that could be, but also that they just have it in their own fiat. So, for example, a US bank is going to keep dollars, and if they want to send something to somebody in, I don't know, Zimbabwe, pick a freaking country with a different currency, they'll just switch it over instantly with XRP. So that's, again, a spike in volume, spike in utility, and even velocity then, but not necessarily price. And we can start to debate about that, about if the velocity keeps going up and you got a couple of equations for that. Eventually, we could also see an increase in price to just match the whole system. But you could also see it exactly the opposite way, where the velocity keeps going up. The more money is being turned around right now, the quicker everything is going to be going. Yeah, that the price doesn't really need to be that high, as people are just really quickly turning it around all the time. However, only one thing that bothers me is if XRP really were to be at 30 cents right now, it's going to be impossible for people to just do multi-billion dollars worth of transactions every single day. And thinking about that, yeah, the price needs to go a little bit higher. But it doesn't have to be $10,000 per coin, though. So we would have to find a cool middle ground, and I still don't think this would really work that well in a dollar standard, because I don't think people really like to pay that much for just one coin in that is so, you know, open out there. But again, that's just me. You know, if the dollar really gets away from its throne and we get a new standard or something like that, yeah, I'm open to it though. Here's why the Grayscale Ethereum Trust is soaring today. Well, Ethereum is of course pumping, and it pumped to all-time highs, so that is that. Will Ripple go to the Supreme Court to fight the SEC? Lawyers weigh in. A more difficult question would be, would the SEC go to Supreme Court, or would the SEC actually try to overrule the ruling that the court makes at first? And I personally think they would. I actually think whatever situation comes out from this right now, it'll be positive for crypto because we'll know. But whatever comes out, it's definitely not the end of things. It's definitely not going to be the end of things. And I do think that Ripple's case here will be a standard for every other case regarding crypto in the future. So will there really be a Ripple test instead of a Howey test? That I cannot tell. But will Ripple really be seen as an example? That's surely so. Then NVIDIA CFO, and by the way, the Ripple test replacing the Howey test is basically because Howey was one of the most infamous security cases ever, and since they basically had a couple of questions kind of made up back then regarding securities, it could also be, since that is always taken as an example right now for securities, that Ripple's case is now going to be taken as kind of the first and most popular one as a standard for cryptocurrencies. It could be, you know, so it could become the new standard, but it's necessarily going to be a example. Whether or not it's going to be the new official test, we do not yet know. Yeah, I thought about that a little bit though. It's interesting to think. Then NVIDIA CFO warns of lean times ahead for GPU supplies. If you were planning to build yourself a computer, get yourself a GPU as soon as possible. It's going to be really freaking expensive in the shortest amount of time here. It could go down because they are going for a whole new range here of cryptocurrency mining GPUs. But still, it's already really expensive, and I don't think it's going to be getting worse as time goes on. Binance Coin hits new all-time high before its 14 BNB quarterly token burn. It did really, really well today. However, who really cares too much about it? I don't really care about that. I just hold BNB because you just use it to use fees on Binance. And Ethereum price could replicate Bitcoin's, hit 20K according to McCaff's Law Economist. This is just that Ethereum follows Bitcoin's 2017 run, and thus is going to go to 20,000. All I can say is, man, I'm hoping. I really am hoping for it. I do not have enough Ethereum to become, incredibly rich because of it, but I'd still be happy if it were to do so, as I do have more Ethereum than I have Bitcoin in terms of real coins. As again, Ethereum used to just be $100, and Bitcoin used to be, I guess, still $3,500. You do the math, all right? It was a lot easier to get some Ethereum than it was Bitcoin. But yeah, it's a crazy space right now. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video though. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe, and I'll definitely see you guys again in another one. Let me know what you think about Brian Brooks down below. Was he referring to XRP/Ripple or not? And I'll see you guys again in another one.